And welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy. Guess who will appear later in the
Guess
video.
will appear later in the video, maybe, because he missed the session. What did we do today, Tommy?
We played Dad's own game.
Which, do you remember what it was called? Here, let's...
I don't remember what it was called.
Dark Horizons Lore, the D20 edition, which I think you can see in the camera there. Are we not recording? Yeah, we're recording. This is a board game based on a video game that we made, my company, a long time ago, probably about 20 years ago. It was a decent video game. It was a first-person shooter with giant mechs, and part of what we did is decided to turn that into a board game at the time. And years ago, they had something called the D20 license, which is based on Dungeons and Dragons. So I adapted all of our mechs, and you can see some of them right here.
It's kind
That
of
are 3D printed 3D models from the game. I adapted all our mechs to D20. So it's supposed to be like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, but it's kind of like BattleTech if orcs painted it red.
If orcs painted it red. So it went pretty fast. We may have messed up some of the rules, but not too many of them. It's basically D&D combat stripped down to its basics.
Yeah, we forgot about hardness for the first half.
Yeah, we made up for it. So your mechs have hit points. They got a lot of hit points, but the weapons do a lot of damage, and they almost always hit. Almost always hit.
Almost always.
Almost always hit. When they miss, they really miss. So the mechs jumped around the table for 15 minutes.
My mech earned the name Locust.
And yep, you're in a Locust, and I was in the Federated States Scout mech, and they're meant to be drones, so there's no pilots in them, and there are 4 different kinds of mechs that you can pilot. You can have Scout mechs, you can have what we called infantry mechs, which are slightly heavier. They're sort of your jack of all trades mechs. You can have assault mechs, which are even heavier and a lot more hit points and bigger weapons, and then there are tanks. And the best part of the game, that when we made the video game, was the capture the flag component. And it was usually teams of 4 versus 4. And somebody had a tank, and they sat on the flag and blew up the scouts as they came in. And there are missiles, and there were mines, and there were lasers, plasma guns and Gatling guns. And that's pretty much it. It's a D20-based rule set, very slimmed down. Game took 15 minutes for a 1 versus 1 battle, which is, I think, possibly the fastest D&D battle I think I've ever seen. And
Speaking of D&D,
what'd you think?
We were going to play D&D today, but
we may not. But that's okay. We're talking about this now.
Oh yeah.
So, what did you think of the game?
It was fast. It was fun, and I beat Dad.
It was fast. It was fun, and you did beat me. Although I got you down to 40 hit points or so. So I nearly got you. What's your favorite part?
Oh. I think it's speed.
The speed?
And how satisfying it is to hit and deal big damage.
You hit and deal big damage. I think the game is better when there are more models on the table, but I didn't prepare enough player sheets to have a bigger battle. I think even 2 or 3 models, the game wouldn't have lasted more than 30 minutes. So we could have done a full 4 versus 4, and maybe we'll do that with Gus later. What didn't you like about it? Other than missing?
Sometimes it's hard to identify something you like about something, and sometimes it's hard to identify something you dislike about something.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, while I may not like it the most, that's because I'm not that big of a board game guy.
Yep.
I like fast-paced video games with graphics, aside with graphics that aren't solid models that don't move. I like video games that move. Yeah, but I do like this.
Yeah, this is fast. I think it's a lot faster than any other mech games we played. All right, you ready to give it a score? I can't give it a score because I made it. So
you're biased.
I'm biased, yeah. Okay, how many cabbages are you going to give it all by yourself?
The max is still 3, right?
The max is still 3.
Yeah.
So you think Gus would give it more than that? Or less than that? Probably not. I think he'd probably like it just almost as much because it's really fast.
Unless he lost.
Unless he lost.
Then he would be slightly biased in the opposite direction.
That's just true. This is true. All right. So we're gonna give it we'll give it a pretty good score from Tommy. Dark Horizons lore. You actually can still download the rules on DriveThruRPG. They're free, which is cool. And we did this anticipating perhaps making a new version of the game. So my friends that I made the game with the first time are thinking about making a new version. And that's it.
Also, viewers, take this. If one of us wins a game, we might be subtly biased to it. And might give it an extra point of one more point than if we lost. So take the last point from the winner with a grain of salt.
Do you think you would have given this lesser points if you lost?
I don't know. Because
right. We'll have to play again and find out.
Probably because I won.
Probably because you won. All right. So 3 cabbages, which is pretty high score, pretty high praise from my son for a game that I made. You ready to do the outro? Anything else to add? Subscribe, like, hit that bell. Eat plenty of cabbages.
Subscribe, like, hit that bell. Eat plenty of cabbages. Not us though. Not me though, since I'm the only one here right now.
This is true.
Or else, Mech. I ran out of jokes at like the 3rd episode.
There you go. All right. Well,
because none of them were focused on food.
There you go.
And
Thanks.
our entire sick as
So thanks so much.
We'll record the second part later with Gus.
All right.